cool. Alright! Welcome to your first day of school. Now, we all know what happened, and we're not going to discuss it. Okay, we'll save that for another day, about how everything fell apart. All of you used to get bused over to Pueblo for school each day. Well, the buses aren't running anymore. And even if we could get you over to Pueblo, I doubt your parents would trust your safety over there during the daytime if they're not around, since it's so far away. So, the town got together and we decided, let's have a school. Now, what we did, which you should already know by now, we figured out how many kids here, including homeschoolers, we had. We divided you up into 3 groups. The first group is made up of the pre-K kids, your preschool kids, up through 1st grade. So ages 5 to 7 roughly. Our second group, our lower grade kids, are 2nd grade to 5th grade. So 8 to 11 years old roughly. Which brings us to you guys, the malcontents. Some of you were already starting high school, some of you were getting ready to. You're our upper grades, 6th through high school. So the youngest person we got here is 12. The oldest person we got in this classroom is 16. Now, how we decided to do this, our initial group, our little preschoolers and that stuff, they're concentrating on your basics, your alphabet, basic words, shapes, colors, numbers, the usual stuff. A little bit more advanced when they got into the lower grade. You upper graders, you're going to have middle school type stuff and high school level stuff. Now, to help us out to do this, we did a little community collection. We got as you seen when you came in, at the back of the room on those shelves back there, we got a collection of textbooks. Some of them we have multiples, some of them we have just singles. When we're going to be teaching a lesson from one that we have a single textbook, when you're going to have to read from it, or I'm going to have to read from it, we'll just pass it around. Make sure you keep track what's going on, so that you know when you're supposed to pick up and read, when I want you to continue reading. Wake up. Another thing the community decided, forget the whole ban on corporal punishment. There's not going to be timeouts here. I'm not going to go full-on Catholic nun style, whap your wrists with a ruler, but you may find a book rammed up the back of your head, or my talking stick across your desk. So behave, all 12 of you. Now, we also did a collection of basic materials for you guys. We got some paper, we got pencils, pens, we got erasers, scissors, what everybody could spare for you guys. Mr. Hawkins is working on making paper according to the way they used to do it in the Middle Ages, so that we'll have more when we run out of the little stock that we do have, so that we can keep going. Now, you're probably wondering, when are you done with school? When do you graduate? We're still trying to figure out that curriculum. What's going to be our, you're good to go, move on into life? Because we've only been in this SHTF, as they call it, for about 4 months now. You were supposed to start school this week over in Pueblo. We decided, let's do it here, inside the community center. Now, some of you probably know you dropped off your younger brother and sister across the hall in the other community room with the lower grades, since they only got about 8 over there. And then our preschool kids are over at the daycare across the street with Miss Baggins. Now, what type of classes can you expect? You're probably wondering that. We're going to go simple, but we're going to try to teach you as much as we can, because we don't know how long things are going to be falling apart here. So we're going to try to prepare you for the world we find ourselves in now. As you should already know, when you turn 16, you automatically become part of the MAG group for this community, the Mutual Assistance Group. I am part of it. If I hear the bells sounding at the fire hall down the road, I have to grab my stuff on quick and I have to head out the door. When that happens, all of you will head across the hall, link up with the lower graders, and you'll be told what to do. Whether you need to move into the basement of this building or where you're going to have to go. Follow the teacher's lead over there. Now, the subjects you guys are going to get. First off, English. You're going to continue to work on your reading abilities and your writing abilities. Also your spellings. You may not think that's important anymore because everything fell apart. We want to make sure that you guys can read to the best level you can. Because someday you might be the person who's going to have to read that technical manual or higher level textbook to build something here for this community like a power station. So you got to be able to understand the materials. So along with that, we're also going to cover sciences. You guys probably knew it as STEM when you were over at Pueblo. But our sciences are going to cover biology, basics of technology, chemistry, geology, and physiology. We're going to teach you how living things work so that you can take care of it. So if someone gets hurt, you can help them to survive. Or if someone's trying to hurt you, you can hurt them. We want you to learn the world around you so that you'll better understand how to garden and grow food for your future families. Get the ideas? North-South people? We're also going to teach you history. American history and world history. And we're also going to teach you history of the state, of our founding, the pioneer days. I got a feeling that type of stuff's going to be important since basically someone put a giant stop on the world, threw us back 150 years. So we need to know how things worked back then. How did they do things? And we're going to talk about it. We're also going to cover social studies. Now, we don't have any really good social studies books, so we're going to be pulling from about a dozen different books and a few books that aren't considered textbooks outside of certain groups. So you're going to be taught systems of government. You're going to be taught geography, basics of law, sociology, how societies work. You're going to understand basic economics. Not just barter like we've been using in a town here, but how did it work in different types of governments around the world? Because who knows, you guys may be the frontline people for reestablishing everything down the road. And we want you to have that good education to go off of for when you decide what the new society is going to be like. You're also going to be taught anthropology, and you're going to get some information on religions. You're not going to be indoctrinated into it, but you're going to find out the basics on it. What's the basic beliefs, their basic pillars, what they hold dear. Another thing that we're going to cover in social studies is the groups that caused everything to fall apart. So you're going to get a class on globalism, aka the New World Order. Now when we get into those materials, we're going to bring Mr. Kernke over here because he's been talking about it for decades. Everyone in the town here thought he was nuts. Well, I think we can say he was right. So he's going to give you guys classes on what their goals were, what their ultimate goals are, who were part of this group. Because someday, you guys might be the ones that have to track them down, put them on trial for what they did. We're also going to have physical education. This is going to be in the evening. We're going to do this for an hour to an hour and a half. You'll have some sports, you'll have some laps, some running, a little bit of working on your upper body, lower body, a little bit of weight lifting stuff. You know, just some basic things to help you improve your physical condition. Because the way it looks, some of you need to lose a few pounds, isn't it? So we'll help you with that. You know what? I'm in the same boat. We'll all get something out of it. The final subject matter that we're going to cover in this school, which is going to be from the end of our physical education class to the end of the day, we're going to have what we call SMS. It's going to be survival and military studies. Now, the younger grades, they're getting taught primarily the survival. You guys, because you're getting to the age you're going to end up having to join the military assistance group, you're going to get taught some of the things that you would if you would go to a military basic training or boot camp. Give you some of those skills. We'll teach you how to safely handle a weapon, how to properly clean it, maintain it. We'll teach you how to properly use it. And we're discussing the point of when we'll allow you to potentially fire off a couple rounds to get used to the kick and that stuff from when you fire a weapon. Do we got any questions? Any? No north-south? We got east-west. Come on, do we got any east-west here? Any questions? Any? Okay, the first class we're going to cover will be English. So what I will want you to do is you will get up, you will go to the back of the room. We have some books back there. The book that you're going to get is called Brian's Winter. And we're going to start with reading that.